We've all heard weird things that doctors found inside patients who came into their offices complaining about weird aches and pains. Sometimes a nail has gone up the nose, or something went into the butt that was never meant to be in the body. The really and truly shocking tales are the ones told by doctors who not only found something that didn't belong inside the human body, but that was still living when it was found. Number 10. Anuj Ranjan, belt inside the chest. In a rare surgery performed in Apollo Hospital, a doctor removed an 8-inch long leather belt from the chest of a young man after it had laid there undetected for 4 years. 22-year-old Anuj Ranjan from Lucknow, who met with a road accident in 2006 and injured in his abdomen, took some treatment and was discharged by a local hospital back then. After 6 months, Anuj developed chest pain and fever. The doctors put him on anti-tubercular treatment, which continued for at least 2 years. But he gained no relief from the recurring chest pain and fever. Further, he developed a swelling on his left chest, which bulged, burst, and released a lot of pus and air. When KK Pandey, a senior consultant for thoracic and vascular surgery at Indrapratha Apollo Hospital, operated upon Ranjan on July 20th, he was shocked to find an 8-inch long piece of leather belt and a small piece of cotton cloth inside Anuj's chest. The leather belt broke and entered his stomach along with the cotton cloth when he met with the accident. It then traveled to his chest area. He was in a critical stage as an infection in the left lung was spreading to the right side of his chest. As the foreign body has now been removed, Ranjan is now recovering, Pandey said. Number 9. Carla Flores, grenade. In Mexico, they call her the Miracle Woman, and it's easy to see why. Simply put, what happened to Carla Flores is incredible by any standards. It all started one day when the mother of 3 from Chilcan in the state of Sinaloa was selling seafood on the street. She heard a bang and something hit her, knocking her down. Carla felt a burning sensation in her face, and when she raised her hand to it, there was blood. Then she lost consciousness. When Carla woke up in Kulshan General Hospital, she thought a stone or a rock must have got lodged in her face. Then they started to look and discovered that it was some projectile, but they still didn't know what it was. The X-ray and the tomography showed a weird object stuck between the superior and inferior jawbones. Then they realized it wasn't a stone, it was a live grenade. Before we move on, leave a like on this video, smash that subscribe button, and hit the notification bell to be the first watching new episodes. Number 8. Nicholas Holderman, keys. A US 1-year-old toddler managed to survive after falling on a set of keys, stabbing his brain through the eye. Nicholas Holderman's father, Chris, was shocked to find his boy pierced by the keys that entered the toddler's eyelid and penetrated the boy's brain. It all took place when the family returned from a trip and started getting ready to turn in for the night. Suddenly, Chris heard a cry from his youngest son. The cry was different from those he was accustomed to. At first, Nicholas's brother Caleb didn't consider the accident as something unusual until he looked and saw a key in his brother's eye. Both parents did not consider pulling the key out by themselves and called 911. After arriving at the hospital, it took a surgeon about 20 minutes to remove the key from the eye. After finishing the operation, he said, "It doesn't look like there's any brain damage, but the eye has been ruptured. It looks pretty bad. The eye is flat." Later, the hospital's eye surgeons arrived to try and save the boy's eyeball, so it could at least have a normal look, even if the boy would lose eyesight. However, 15 minutes after the boy was examined, it was discovered that the boy's eye was not ruptured, and his eyesight was undamaged. The surgeon said that when he started looking at it, the eye just pumped back up. The event was instantly declared a miracle, and the boy recovered so fast that today, members of his family who live in Perryville, Kentucky, can joke about what happened. They might challenge anyone who might guess which eye it was. Number 7. Caitlin Whipple, ring. A New Mexico man's attempt to create a storybook marriage proposal didn't go quite as planned when his girlfriend swallowed the diamond engagement ring he had hidden in her milkshake. Caitlin Whipple reported she swallowed the ring while racing her friends to see who could finish their Wendy's Frosty Shake first. Although her fiancé, Reed Harris, claimed it was a large ring, "I felt nothing at all," Whipple told Lawler. "I was racing my friends, so there was no way I was going to lose that competition." When Harris noticed that the ring had disappeared, he whispered to his girlfriend, that she had swallowed an engagement ring. I thought he was joking. I couldn't believe that I swallowed the ring. I kept waiting for him to get down and propose. It took a trip to the hospital and a revealing x-ray for Whipple to be convinced. Harris did get a second chance at a proposal after the couple left the emergency room. With the x-ray in hand, Harris got down on one knee and popped the question. Whipple said yes. 2 days after the fateful trip to Wendy's, a bag of prunes and a box of high-fiber breakfast cereal helped Whipple get her ring back. Number 6, Israeli woman fork. An Israeli woman swallowed a cockroach, and then the fork she used to remove the insect from her throat. The winged cockroach jumped into the 32-year-old woman's mouth as she was cleaning her home in a village in northern Israel. An x-ray showed the fork was lodged sideways in her stomach. A surgeon removed the fork with laparoscopic surgery, a minimally invasive procedure performed through a tiny incision in the patient's abdomen. Number 5, Chinese man keys. Doctors treating a man suffering from chest pains were shocked to discover a set of keys lodged in his food pipe. According to Chinese reports, the man in Southeast China swallowed his building's key fob and apartment key after getting drunk and only felt ill the next morning. Following an x-ray and an endoscopy, where a tiny plastic tube with an attached camera is inserted into the patient's body, doctors at a hospital in Dongguan, Guangdong province finally removed the foreign objects in an operation. According to Guangdong television, the man didn't even remember he had swallowed his keys until doctors found them in the x-ray images. It was reported that the keys were stuck at the lower part of the patient's esophagus, close to his stomach. The patient had been drinking the night before and didn't even realize he had swallowed the keys. Number 4, Yijao Water Tap. A Chinese man showed up at a hospital in China with a water tap stuck in his eye socket. Yijao, 57, slipped and fell in his bathroom, impaling his left eye on the tap at his home. The blood scaringly spouted everywhere, and firefighters could only cut short the pipe with hydraulic shears, leaving the tap handle and a section of the pipe still stuck in his eye. He was taken to Daping Hospital, where staff called a plumber to try and make the pipe small enough to fit him in a CAT scan machine. But the plumber couldn't remove it without causing too much pain, so the doctor had to change the plan by taking an x-ray first. The x-ray showed the tap had gone 3 centimeters into the man's eye. Amazingly, however, the patient got fed up with the waiting for doctors to make a decision, and he just pulled it out himself. Doctors immediately took the CAT scan, which showed he had a fractured nose and facial bones, but no damage to his eye or brain. Number 3, Patrick Lawler, nail. A dentist found the source of a toothache Patrick Lawler was complaining about on the roof of his mouth, a 4-inch nail the construction worker had unknowingly embedded in his skull 6 days earlier. A nail gun backfired on Lawler, 23, on January 6th while working in Breckenridge Ski Resort near the town of Central Colorado Mountains. The tool sent a nail into a piece of wood nearby, but Lawler didn't realize a second nail had shot through his mouth, said his sister, Lisa Mitchells. Following the accident, Lawler had what he thought was a minor toothache and blurry vision, and after painkillers and ice didn't ease the pain, he went to a dental office where his wife Katerina works. Number 2, Pat Skinner, scissors. A pair of 17-centimeter surgical scissors were left inside a woman's abdomen for 18 months after surgery in a Sydney hospital. Pat Skinner, age 69, had part of her colon removed at St. George Hospital 3 years ago, but continued to suffer intense pain for many months afterward. Reporting, she said she did complain and was told it takes time to recover. It was only when she insisted on an x-ray 18 months after the surgery that she discovered that the surgical scissors had been left in her abdomen. Number 1, false teeth lost in man's throat during surgery. A 72-year-old man who had abdominal surgery in England swallowed his dentures during the procedure. They got stuck in his throat and were only discovered 8 days later. The initial surgery was to remove a harmless lump in the man's abdominal wall, but because of the denture debacle, he suffered pain, bleeding, and swallowing difficulties, and endured repeated hospital visits, additional invasive tests, and blood transfusions. He was prescribed mouthwash, antibiotics, and steroids and sent home. 2 days later, he returned to the emergency department with worsening symptoms. He told doctors he hadn't been able to swallow any of his prescribed medicines. At this point, he was readmitted to the hospital. Tests revealed a semicircular object lying across his vocal cords, which had caused internal swelling and blistering. Doctors operated to remove the dentures and kept him hospitalized for 6 days. However, he returned several times over the next few weeks because of the bleeding. Doctors eventually determined that the bleeding was due to an internal wound tissue around the blistering caused by his false teeth. They cauterized the tissue to prevent further bleeding. Thanks for watching. Leave the comment down below and do let us know what the craziest thing is on this list. Don't forget to subscribe for new and upcoming episodes.